be a quick start. That has been a huge problem, PJ, in the last 2 games.
Don Nelson really distressed, doesn't know what to do, but Steve Nash knows about it.
A very good job defensively on him. And without him, others will certainly have to pick up the slack. Weber's on him to start. Finley misses, and Nash the offensive rebound. Nice feed inside.
That's why they don't like that matchup. They got the lead. Jimmy O'Brien's delighted, and he should be. But Carlisle's team hung in. Split second late for Jerry Stackhouse.
Nash sitting down. Greg Buckner has come in. Nowitzki not even close. And Nowitzki now 0 for 7 from the field. Weber just beating Dallas down the court. That's poor transition defense.
Dallas is scoring points, but they're not doing anything to control Weber, Divac, or Scott Pollard in his limited minutes.
And they've cut the lead. The Kings have to 2. Finley from way downtown. And Bibby with a rebound. Knocked out of bounds by Van Exel. Sacramento.
They're 9 for 13 from the field.
Hedo Turkoglu has come in. Bobby Jackson sitting down. Turkoglu, a very strong player, just hasn't gotten the minutes yet that I'm sure he'll get over the next couple of years. Pollard has come into the game, and he'll get the big minutes with no Stojakovic. Bibby continues to shoot so well here in this series. An 8-0 run, and the Kings, after trailing by 11, have tied the game.
Well, when you talk about the Sacramento bench, you're really only talking about 3 players. Rick Adelman usually uses an 8-man rotation. Jackson, Pollard, and Turkoglu.
Van Exel, aggressive move, can't finish, and Pollard the rebound. Pollard, of course, barely played the first 2 games, but had 11 very strong minutes in Game 3.
They don't like him on the floor against Dallas because he doesn't defend the pick and roll very well, and he really hurts them on the defensive end.
Turkoglu, shot clock winding down. Weber inside. Weber now with 15 points. A 10-0 run by the Kings, and they have their first lead of the game.
Did you say shot clock winding down, Mike?
First time.
Last time.
Buckner gets it inside, and Buckner counts it. Greg Buckner, I guess you could say, is a Maverick defensive specialist. Now, I know that's an oxymoron, but he's one of the guys off the bench that can play some D.
Well, they have the defensive bunch, and we're getting on Dirk Nowitzki. Let's give him credit again. Very good pass.
Turkoglu inside.
Hedo's got to finish that shot. Great entry pass behind the back from Chris Weber.
So final half minute of the first quarter. Kind of a low-scoring quarter for these.
A bit of a slowdown. I think these teams will get going.
Nowitzki, and there's his first field goal on a pretty pass from Van Exel.
Both of these teams move the ball so well. You put Minnesota in, the 3 of them, I think, the 3 best passing teams in the NBA.
Shot clock turned off, so the Kings will hold it for the final 1 of the quarter. Bibby, Turkoglu wide open. And that tip would not have counted. And that will end the first quarter. Nowitzki struggled. He thinks he's not playing well because he's not shooting well. And he feels he's letting it affect the other parts of his game. Defense, which isn't his strength. And more importantly, passing, which is an area he needs to improve on. And the Kings are making him pass the ball.
Well, he's shown that already today. He's being aggressive, taking the ball to the basket. But he's frustrated, Mike. He's got to understand he's commanding so much attention from the Sacramento defense that does open things up for his teammates. But he's thinking about it too much, and it's really affecting his shooting.
Bibby gets the roll as it goes in. More substitutions for Sacramento. Gerald Wallace, the rookie from Alabama, has come in. He's out there with Turkoglu, Weber, Pollard, and Bibby.
Gerald Wallace is the one who will move into the rotation. Rick Adams is playing Scott Pollard, so it looks like he'll use an 8-man rotation and move Pollard and Wallace in. He's been playing 7 in the first 3 games.
Turkoglu went for the fake. And Finley attacked the basket in Game 3, got to the free throw line 11 times. You're early, aggressively going to the basket. It just opens up your outside shot later on.
Right. I mean, he's thinking about it so much right now. Peja Stojakovic, when he was healthy, was really struggling for the Kings. But the difference, again, he commands double teams. He changes the other team's defense. His absence for the Kings is going to cause a problem, even though he wasn't shooting it well.
Wallace, the rookie, turns it over. And the Mavericks set up the offense. Turkoglu is on Van Exel. Van Exel wants to take him off the dribble. Finley, this time for 3. Michael Finley off to a terrific start. He's got 11.
Sacramento's one of the best defensive teams in the league against the three-point shot, ranked number 3, and they've so far shut Dallas's three-point shooting down.
Weber goes in and draws the foul.
Dallas comes in shooting 31% in 3 games from the three-point line.
Weber in the fourth quarter of Game 3 on Thursday. Big buckets down the stretch, block shots, assists, rebounds. Him and Doug Christie took over and got Sacramento back the home court advantage. Van Exel, Rafe LaFrance, and Van Exel the rebound. When you play against teams that shoot a lot of threes, you have to look for those long rebounds. Guards have to help out. Buckner with a brick. And Turkoglu, who's a very good rebounder, probably a better rebounder than Stojakovic, grabs that one.
Tasia was a very good rebounder when he first came over. He's kind of gotten away from that. He can be a good rebounder.
And a terrific move, but an offensive foul. Turkoglu called for the charge.
Now he gets out and runs the fast break. 7 for 9 from the field, 16 points, 5 boards. C-Webb already has 3 double-doubles in the first 3 games of this series.
And he just spent part of that timeout coaching Tito Turkoglu, who's on the bench with 2 fouls. Bad pass from Van Exel. Lawrence Funderburk has come in. Wallace running the floor, and he's fouled from behind.
Look at the shot chart for Chris Webber. And there's no room to put all those dots on top of each other. Some of them were even closer than that. His field goals are like 1 foot away from the basket. He's taken 1 shot outside of 3 feet.
He's the 3rd youngest player in the NBA this season behind Eddie Curry and Tyson Chandler of the Bulls. Hasn't played all that much in the first bunch of games, and that's his first points, his first career playoff points from the free throw line, and he cuts it to 2.
Rick Adelman likes him. He doesn't play much. He's a real crowd favorite in Sacramento, but they think he's got a great future.
Finley for 3. Michael Finley continues his strong start. 14 points, and the Mavs back up by 5.
That would be my biggest concern if I were Rick Adelman right now. They've done such a good job of shutting down Dallas on the perimeter. Not today.
You see that 5 of 8 from long range. These, of course, the 2 highest scoring teams in the NBA. Shot clock winding down. Funderburk inside. Blocked by LaFrance. Yes, Dallas with some defense. Nash gets inside. Beautiful pass to LaFrance. Ball knocked out of bounds. Almost a great save. Buckner with a terrific save. And Nash rushed a shot. And a foul call on Divac.
It leads Nash right to the rim, eventually to the free throw line.
Nash, one of the best free throw shooters in the league. The Mavericks were the best free throw shooting team in the NBA this season at just under 81%.
They bounced back with a good performance in Game 3. Surprisingly, their free throw shooting hurt them in the first 2 games.
But Nash had a playoff career high 15 assists in Game 3, and all they talked about is how he was outplayed by Mike Bibby.
Michael Bibby's matchups have been tough. Starts with John Stockton. Now he's got Nash and Van Exel.
That time, not a great shot with LaFrance in his face. And Adrian Griffin, who's also hardly played in the postseason, as they call a blocking foul on Wallace. Hey, I've got a really good defensive team I can put out on the floor that can hold teams to 80, but they wouldn't even score 60. Part of that grit, though, has been having an impact here today. Nowitzki draws the foul. Nowitzki is the first.
Now, the trainers told me that they gave him a B12 vitamin shot yesterday, as well as a sports IV, which is full of potassium, to try and re-energize him. Of course, some of the people have said he looks like he's not been there. Del Harris, the assistant coach, told me that this morning Dirk looks like he's back in his body. Mike?
Yeah, Lewis, he admitted being sluggish, feeling sluggish after Game 3. At that pace, though, I don't think anybody would be sluggish. Christie spinning inside, can't connect. And Nowitzki the rebound.
I like those B12 shots, Mike. That sounds like Jamal Mashburn.
Finley. Mashburn, of course, still out for the Charlotte Hornets. Nowitzki against Bibby. They double team. Finley, another long three. Michael Finley with 17 points. And it's still early here in the second quarter. A 9-0 Mavericks run. They're back up by 11, which equals the largest of the game. And a foul down low.
Good a shooter. You have to make him dribble the ball before he shoots it.
Nowitzki has 4 assists in the game. Christie looking for Weber. And Nahara on another foul. He's just being overly aggressive. Nash and Christie pushing each other. Christie went to get the ball. And Greg Willard has hit a technical foul.
Doug Christie doesn't need to go in there and grab the ball.
And that's the 13th technical foul in this series. They had 6. I'm not talking about the Kings combined. There were 6 technicals in game 3.
They got the foul call. They were going to get the ball in bounds. That cost them a point.
And a foul on Nahara on the entry pass, knocking down Weber. You know, the talk has been, of course, with the emergence of Stojakovic, and he's always been a good passer. Now he's not only passing out of the low post, but out on the elbow. He's really done an excellent job getting his teammates involved. Griffin to Nahara, and the Kings caught napping.
They were the only 2 Dallas Mavericks in the front court. The 2 hustle players, Griffin and Nahara. Sacramento, poor transition defense.
Christie and Nash really battling, and Divac is fouled. It has been a pretty physical series.
Well, Sacramento wants to go inside, so they want it to be more physical.
Divac has already missed 2 free throws. Now 2 of 4 from the line. Mavericks by 11.
They're not even guarding Adrian Griffin.
Griffin kicks it out. Bibby in pursuit of Nash. Finley double team, knocked it out of bounds. Again with no Stojakovic. If you're just tuning in, Stojakovic in the sprained ankle from game 3 most likely will not play the rest of this series. Nowitzki spinning against Turkoglu. Turkoglu stays on his feet beautifully. And Nowitzki barely grazes the rim. That's excellent defense.
Very well defended by Hedo Turkoglu.
Weber passes to Divac, who's triple team, and a foul call. Perhaps getting in the NBA playoff record books for the wrong reason. So now with those 4 fouls sit down. By the way, the quickest disqualification in an NBA playoff game. Travis Knight, when he was with the Lakers, fouled out in 6 minutes back in '99.
Is that 6 straight, or can Eduardo catch him when he comes back on the floor?
No, it's 6 combined, so he still has a chance at the record. We're at the midway point of the second. Michael Finley, tough defense from Bobby Jackson. And here comes Turkoglu.
Bobby Jackson reached in right by Michael's face. I'm surprised he got away with that.
Weber gets the feet inside. Nice play from Weber. Nash shaken up. But Nash was coming in. That was not a foul on Chris Weber. The crowd really wants them to call it on Weber. That's just good aggressive play.
It was a good no call, and you end up with 2 Mavs on the floor.
Turkoglu, a second-year player out of Turkey. Good defense helped forcing that turnover. And then a reach-in foul on Adrian Griffin. In off Christie to the line. Christie scoreless so far. And it's the first free throw. It's just be so tough mentally. You have team leaders in points. You have team leaders in rebounds. Adelman says Doug Christie is the team leader in energy every single game.
And toughness. The players and the coaches know who the players are who will play when they're hurt. Doug Christie's one of those guys.
Steve Nash misfires. Good boxing out from Divac.
You know, our graphics people did a good job on that Charlotte, New Jersey promo about having David Wesley and Jason Kidd head-to-head there in the graphic.
That was an ugly collision, and unfortunately both players okay, although Kidd sporting quite a shiner. That was a big win for Charlotte. They'll try and even the series tomorrow. Jackson, shot clock at 2. Jackson has to hoist it up. Good defense from LaFrance. That ball just grazed the rim. LaFrance has done that a couple of times. He's gotten out and put a good hand up on the perimeter shot.
Well, we repeat ourselves, but he's such a good defender, particularly when he's helping out. Bobby Jackson has struggled. He didn't get off to a good start in his new role today. Other than the assist, he's hurt Sacramento.
Christie with the steal. 3-on-2 for Sacramento. Christie, nice move. Going right past Nash and Nowitzki.
You can't do that. They got to make him pass the ball. You can't have a guy dribble the ball all the way from the backcourt and go to the rim without somebody picking him up.
And now it's Sacramento with a 9-0 run. Griffin. Adrian Griffin knocks one down.
Unlikely source to end the run.
That's just his second field goal of the entire playoffs. But it gives Dallas a 5-point lead with 4 minutes remaining in the second.
Well coached in college, though, Mike.
A Seton Hall Pirate. Nice backdoor attempt, but then a terrific recovery by that well-coached player. He got beat, but didn't give up. Nowitzki inside. Well, he's only 2 for 10. Both of them have been on one a dunk and the other one a layup. He needs to get more of those.
That kind of shot selection will get your field goal percentage up.
Divac trying to post up LaFrance. Jackson on a give and go.
Bobby Jackson learned a lesson too. He couldn't make a shot, so he went to the rim. Vlade with a real nice pass.
Is there a better center, passing center in the NBA?
I like Vlade. I used to say it was Arvydas Sabonis. I think you'd have to say Vlade Divac.
Nowitzki inside strong again. I think he's made the adjustment.
He's made the adjustment, and he sees what Weber and Divac are doing on the opposite end.
Nowitzki knocks it away. He's had a couple of deflections.
Rafe LaFrance in there again. His length is a factor.
Finley. Nowitzki the rebound. That was not a good shot from Finley. Griffin was wide open on the right wing. Wide open again. He's not hesitating. Well, he hasn't played much. He's trying to get as many points as possible when he gets out on the floor.
Well, this team, you got to get your shots when you're on the floor, because any of the other four players are going to get it up if they have one.
And the Mavericks back up by 9, a 20-second timeout. And there you see Griffin hardly playing the first 3 games. Here's a guy that wasn't drafted, played in the CBA for 3 years, was even cut in the Philippines. As Divac blocked by LaFrance. And that's LaFrance's 3rd block shot of the first half. Oh, great pass by Nash, but Buckner can't finish. And a collision between Bibby and Nash.
Well, you're going to see some guards in this league getting a little hesitant to go after loose balls.
Bibby fouled from behind, despite all the contact. I think that's the right no call because they both kind of...
Can I say something nice about the officials?
That occasionally comes out. Not often, but occasionally. Under 2 minutes to play first half. 7-point Dallas lead. Mavericks trying to even up this conference semifinal at 2 games apiece.
They talk about small ball. We've got tall ball right now. Nelly wants to make sure with Sean Bradley and LaFrance, Weber and Divac can't score inside. Christie is a great anticipator. He sees the entire floor on the defensive end.
Bibby pushes it up. Christie and Jackson, both their 2nd year in Sacramento. They have changed the mentality defensively of this team.
Last year it changed. Sacramento became a good field goal percentage defense team. It started last year with Doug Christie and Bobby Jackson.
Meanwhile, poor defense that time from Buckner as Bibby. That should just not happen on an inbounds play.
They don't have Christie and Jackson setting the tone on the defensive end for the Mavericks.
Although they have a couple of defenders out there in LaFrance and Griffin and Buckner. LaFrance steps back, way short, and a loose ball foul called on LaFrance. Of course, these teams so explosive, 125-119. That was the score in Game 3. 49 years coaching and still having an impact wherever he coaches.
He told me today he thought Boston-Detroit was a great game yesterday. You know what everybody was talking about.
A 3-point Dallas lead with a minute remaining. Sacramento getting to the free throw line. Buckner trying to take advantage of Bibby. LaFrance and Bradley just leveled Divac. It looked like an elbow. Here comes Jackson the other way. Jackson goes hard to the glass and does not get the roll, but keeps it alive for his teammate.
Bobby Jackson's an excellent offensive rebounder.
Jackson, a lot of contact. Offensive foul.
Chris Weber committed the foul.
Bradley tripped over Bobby Jackson, but Weber initiated the trip by pushing him. He may have gone back down the other end of the floor because it appeared Bradley hit Divac with an elbow that knocked him down. It has been a physical first half for these 2 run-and-gun teams.
Well, the free throw attempts are up much higher in the 2nd quarter.
Nash flips up a wild shot. How does that go in? Here comes Jackson. That's a bad shot from Jackson, but he got bailed out on the foul. Meanwhile, Bradley with the foul on the other end. Jackson misses the free throw. Jackson.
Night in and night out, he puts up good numbers.
Another missed free throw. Weber, though, the offensive rebound, gets inside. Nice left hand from Weber.
Splits the defense and then shields him with his shoulder.
Van Exel blocked by Jackson. Don Nelson irate. And then calms himself and walks away. No, there's going to be a technical foul. Nelson is jumping up and down. He's close to getting thrown out.
They got to get him out of there. As soon as he jumped off the bench, Jimmy Clark put the whistle in his mouth. One more word. When you see the official put the whistle in his mouth, that means I've heard enough.
Johnson. All right, thanks a lot, Steve. Obviously, nerves are frayed here. It's a lot of emotion, but let's talk about the way this game started. You were down 13 and 15, respectively, the first two games. How important was it to get started off right? What did you guys talk about yesterday to get this thing started off right today?
Well, just having a good start. You know, it's been a characteristic of our team to start slowly, and we've also had the characteristic of resiliency that's brought us back a lot this year, but we can't afford it to play against good teams and have bad starts. We played well at the start, and it was a good for us.
The nature of these games that have a lot of speed means there'll be a lot of scoring. So how important will defense be to try and keep the score down if you plan on getting a win here?
The team that plays the best defense is going to win. It may not look like it because the score's so high, but there's more possessions. And in the series so far, the team that's played the best defense has won, so tonight will be no different.
All right, Steve, thanks. We'll see you in the second half.
It's one of those technicals was on Don Nelson after the buzzer to end the second quarter. That's what Christie just shot there. So it's a two-point game as the third quarter gets underway. And Jackson got the start for Stojakovic. Meanwhile, Van Exel getting the start for Dallas. Christie, hard drive, and just too strong. And boy, he's hurt. Doug Christie really hurt down the other end.
Rick Adelman is screaming. Doug Christie's lying on his stomach. Looked like he fell down right on his tailbone.
And then a technical foul on Rick Adelman. He was screaming at Greg Willard. That's a decision they have to make. Christie went down hard, but they didn't want to penalize Dallas for that. I think LaFrentz may have been tripped. It might not have been intentional undercut. It certainly wasn't. Should have been a foul. It was Bibby's foul.
Oh, I don't know if it was intentional, but if that's not a foul, then we better get a different crew. I think he didn't tell Rick Adelman because Rick Adelman got upset.
In the last game, he sprained his ankle. He comes back. He doesn't miss a shot in the fourth quarter, and he's the star of the game. So maybe he likes that.
Well, he liked going to the locker room for a quarter and a half the other night. He wasn't even going to come back till he saw them carry Peja Stojakovic out of there.
But he remains in the game. A 4-point advantage right now for the Mavericks. Nowitzki gets inside and draws the foul.
Was during that timeout, Christie smiled throughout the entire timeout. I don't know what Rick Adelman said to his players.
When Christie hurt himself in game 3 and he comes back out of the locker room, he told their trainer he's not going to be a hero tonight. I don't want him going back in because he wanted him to be ready for game 4 because he knew Stojakovic was going to be out as well with the ankle sprain. But Christie convinced both the medical staff and Adelman that he was okay to go back in the game.
Well, that's why Pete Youngman, the trainer, told Doug, you go tell Rick, because I know if I tell him, he's going to tell me no way. He didn't want to take a chance on Doug Christie, but Doug was able to convince Rick.
Nice move. Weber waited patiently for Christie to seal Nash, and an easy 2.
Good pass and no pressure on Chris Weber. You have to guard Chris Weber, not just so he doesn't shoot it, so he doesn't make an entry pass like that.
Nowitzki spinning. Can't connect. Weber with his 8th rebound. Weber doing a little bit of everything once again. Bibby. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Van Exel.
Chris Weber, we said, well, no one's guarding him. We said he's a good passer. I could make that pass. Doug Christie just seals his man. Easy look for C. Webb.
You could make that pass, but you never made that pass. You always shot
I chose not to.
So, Nowitzki, wide open 3. He is struggling from the perimeter as Weber gets the outlet pass out as he tumbles.
Good no call.
Tell you what, Nowitzki, he has 6 assists. He leads the team in assists. He's also got a couple of steals, so he's not letting it affect the rest of his game. Bobby Jackson to Weber, and Weber's fouled, but he's really improved at the line. His brother Jeff, a couple of years back, gave him some tips.
Much as Tim Duncan did for the San Antonio Spurs this year, it's really important when you have somebody who gets to the free throw line so much that he makes his free throws. Takes away his strength if he gets to the line and can't convert.
2 minutes gone by in the third. Mavericks lead cut to 3 again. Weber guarding Van Exel. Bobby Jackson's on Nowitzki, but they don't get him the ball. Nash hits the 3. Who cares if he get him the ball? Despite the huge mismatch, let's throw up the 3.
Well, Doug Christie paid a little bit too much attention to Van Exel, and that opened things for Nash.
Bobby Jackson, tough shot in traffic. And Jackson able to knock it down. Van Exel. Nash. Pass to LaFrentz right through his hands. 3-on-1 for Sacramento. Christie blows by. Oh, there's the block.
which is just as important because now there's not going to be a three-point play.
1 of 4 in the game and still have a major impact because of all the other things he does. He's had his best season, according to his coach, Rick Adelman.
Well, that's part of the maturity process. You know, we're talking about Dirk Nowitzki's got to understand all the other things he does. You know, it's not just about scoring points.
Nash finding Van Exel. Nowitzki the rebound. It's inside. Count it, and 1. And here, another technical foul. Divac picks up this one. I tell you, if I'm a coach, you got to do something. Players getting technical fouls in the playoffs.
One of the things that players are constantly going to say to you, you have to stick up for me as a coach. You got to get out. If you want me to not say anything to the official, you have to stand up and take the technical foul. But if the coaches are taking them, as they are this afternoon, the players got to keep quiet.
And those technical foul numbers you saw, that's not defensive technical fouls or a second delay a game. That's just all on arguing with officials. Mike Bibby. That one halfway down. Divac called for the loose ball foul. The Kings are getting too involved right now in complaining or trying to laugh off calls. They just got to play.
No, exactly. When you're on the road, you're in a chance without one of your leading scorers to take a stranglehold on the series. You've got to stay focused.
LaFrentz not close. Van Exel tips it out of bounds. 3.5 gone by. Dangerous pass from Christie here in the third. A 7-point Dallas lead. Weber gets inside. Chris Weber continues his aggressive play. He's got 25 points. He's coming off a game 3 where he had 31 points and 15 boards. Nowitzki this time takes it to the hole. Count it, and 1 again. Dirk Nowitzki with a chance for a 3-point play.
Neither of those were enough to be called a foul. If you call it on one end, you got to call it on the other.
Again, they called that on Weber. It appeared Divac was closer to him, but
my bad. If that was called on Chris Weber, I didn't see it. I was watching Vlade Divac.
There you see Nowitzki coming alive. And there's a carry.
Well, the guys are trying to step in. Dallas repeatedly, as Sacramento goes to the basket, tries to rotate over. They're just not getting there soon enough to get an offensive foul. They're not causing enough contact, although Chris Weber would disagree with me.
8-point Maverick lead. Nowitzki. Weber got a piece of it. Nowitzki felt he got a piece of the arm.
He did get a piece of his arm.
Offensive foul on Weber. And Weber's going to get hit with a technical.
Again, let's go back to Lewis Johnson's report coming out of the locker room. Sacramento said what they had to do was keep their composure, call. But forget that. Chris Weber can't react that way, even if he doesn't like the call.
Well, the way the game has gone physically in a lot of pushing and shoving, they've got to call a lot of stuff. Finley can't hit. And Bibby the rebound.
If they call everything this afternoon, we're going to be here for a long time.
But don't you think the players eventually will adjust as there's a foul on Weber after Bibby turned it over, and Weber now has picked up his 4th foul. The officials aren't going to be perfect, and you have to play through it, especially in a postseason game.
Mike, I agree, but don't limit it to the NBA. There's never been an official call a perfect game anywhere, but the players have got to let it go to criticize the official. Just play basketball.
Nash hits the second. The officials in this game, Bernie Fryer in his 23rd year, Jim Clark in his 16th, and Greg Willard in his 14th, all experienced refs. But they lead up to 11, largest of the second half. Divac against LaFrentz. Here comes the double team. Bibby, wide open 3. Divac keeps it alive, but it goes to Dallas. Nash on the move. Nowitzki for 3. And Nash the offensive rebound. Tell you what, for his size, he's a good rebounding point guard.
There's good rebounding point guards on both sides today.
Van Exel goes right at Divac. Largest lead of the game for the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, early on, it was the three-point shooting that opened it up for Dallas. Now, a little bit of frustration by the Sacramento Kings has opened it up even wider.
These type of leads mean nothing to either of these teams with such explosive ability. Turkoglu looking to post up Nash. Huge height advantage there. Turkoglu gets inside. Christie. Spot Bobby Jackson for three. And Jackson finally knocks down a three. He's really been struggling from there. Just 2 of 19 from that range in this series.
We asked him yesterday, what do you do when you're in a slump? He said, just keep working. That was great ball movement by Sacramento. Out of the double team and Doug Christie with the pass.
Van Exel this time with the right hand. And Jackson doesn't like the 1-on-4 numbers in a reach-in foul call.
0 for 3, didn't score, obviously, but taking it to the rim now. And again, we talked about that combination. Bibby. From deep, Michael Bibby's turned cold. It had to happen.
He had been so hot from there, Van Exel. Nash tiptoeing along the baseline. Divac stolen almost by Van Exel. Jackson close to a travel. Christie does not hit the three. And the Kings without Weber have gone away from their inside game.
Now Chris Webber gets in foul trouble and they're settling for the perimeter shot.
Finley. Foul. Shot won't go. And Divac will pick up his fourth. As Finley hits the first and we go to Lewis Johnson.
One of the reasons it's so important for the Sacramento Kings to execute on the offensive end is to make Dallas take the ball out of bounds. When they struggle on offense, it puts too much pressure on their defense. They're helping Dallas's offense.
And you see the best free throw shooting team in the NBA getting it done at the line here today. Pollard against Nowitzki. Pollard inside. Scott Pollard has been incredible shooting the ball. Now, again, hasn't played a heck of a lot, but he's 7 of 8 from the field in the series.
Well, what got Sacramento back into this game was pounding it inside. They need to get back to that right now.
Nash. Tough shot from Nash. He's had a couple of those circus-type shots. His 14-point advantage, largest of the game. Pollard inside again. Foul and one.
I think Roy Williams would have liked that defense by Ray.
Pollard misses the free throw. 4.5 left. Third quarter, along with P.J. Carlesimo and Lewis Johnson, Mike Greenon, and Game 4. Sacramento leading 2-1. The two highest scoring teams in the NBA, both setting franchise records for victories this season. Nash and Pollard another rebound.
Both setting franchise records for victories and road wins.
Bobby Jackson puts it in. And that's what the Kings need. They need someone else to help with the scoring, like a Turkoglu or a Jackson.
Oh, we got all kinds of point guards on the floor. Bibby, Jackson, Van Exel, Nash.
Nash, nice move around Bibby. LaFrance struggling with a pass, knocked out of bounds by Bibby.
I disagree. He looks pretty tired right now.
He had 10 points in the first quarter, hasn't scored since. He gets a nice ovation. Nowitzki inside draws the foul. Nowitzki, by the way, with 18 points. Next Saturday, 5 Eastern, right here on NBC. A big third quarter for Dirk Nowitzki. 13 of his 20 points in this period.
Well, the Preakness may be shorter than the Derby, Mike, but they're not going around that track any faster than these two teams go up and down the floor.
Jackson has Wong on him. Makes his move. Strong move. And Jackson will shoot a couple. Bobby Jackson to the line.
Can't lie, when you play against the team, you know whether they defend or not. Bobby knew that was not Sacramento's MO prior to last year.
10-point Dallas lead, just under 3.5 to play in the third.
Here's Scott Pollard, almost a pick and roll.
Van Exel somehow gets it back. Finley. Tough shot from Finley. And Wong tips it in.
Sacramento feels Pollard doesn't defend the pick and roll very well. He doesn't get back to his man. Wong Juju with the tip in.
He likes to hang out on the perimeter that time, getting inside. And a whistle away from the ball. It's going to go against Van Exel.
Wong Juju, easy 2 points.
His fourth quarter, that was his key in Game 3. He had 14 points in the fourth quarter, creating problems for Don Nelson and the Mavericks. 10-point game, just under 3 to play in the third.
Coaches always say just get it inside 10 going into that fourth quarter. Sacramento needs to hang around while Weber and Divac are on the bench.
Van Exel blocked from behind by Turkoglu. Good help defense and a bad pass
They haven't been scored on as much as they should have off all those turnovers.
Dallas set an NBA record this season, fewest turnovers by a team in a season. Nash, however, turns it over that time right on cue. Nash has 6 of the Mavericks' 7 turnovers. Buckner back in. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this third. Bibby. And they're going to call a travel.
Somebody tripped him. It could have been his own teammate.
But if the defender's feet are solid or stationary and a player splits 2 defenders and trips on him, it's not a foul.
That is correct, Mr. Brady.
Nash tipped by Christie.
What were you saying about turnovers?
Turkoglu, nice crossover move from Hedo Turkoglu.
That's a big-time move right there by Hedo Turkoglu. He comes up with the steal and then coast to coast with a great change of direction.
And that's his first points of the game. Nowitzki. He has come alive with 15 points in this third quarter. Bibby gets inside, lost it, and gets it back. Inside to Pollard. It's like a pinball down there and a foul. You know, before he was an NBA player and struck it rich, they used to call him crazy. Now they call him eccentric. A lane violation on that one. So the free throw can't count. It was on his teammate, Turkoglu.
9 boards and 6 assists. That's a good day's work for most players.
The 6 assists, all in the first half, but as much as you like his unselfish play, you don't want Dirk Nowitzki piling up assists. You want him piling up the points.
Absolutely.
Nash, meanwhile, also very strong in this third quarter. It was a 3-point game at halftime. Christie just takes it away from Finley.
Turnovers hurting Dallas right now.
Jackson inside. Pollard on the follow. Scott Pollard, again, having a big impact in his limited minutes.
Played very well. He played well all year. You had to think, put him out on the floor and see whether he's going to help or hurt. He's obviously helped them a lot.
Nowitzki rushed that one. Pollard with another rebound. Pollard's only played 10 minutes, but he's got 7 points and 5 boards.
2 big possessions right here, 1 for each team.
Christie inside. And just like that, it's back to a 5-point game. They've sliced 9 points off the lead.
Dallas,
short amount of time.
Dallas wants this basket going into the third quarter break.
Shot clock and game clock just about even. Buckner. Nice floater from Greg Buckner.
Michael Bibby's got to do a better job against a bigger man than that on the dribble.
Long three. And it goes over the backboard out of bounds. There's a 10th remaining on the clock. I don't think they're going to put any more time, so Mavericks can't get a shot off. Nash will just inbound. And that will end the third. A strong one for Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki. The Mavericks, very tough to beat when they had the lead, although what happened on Thursday, the game was tied. I mean, they weren't leading, but it was pretty close, and then they lost that game here at home.
Well, this is going to look like the Kentucky Derby. It's 52-2. When these guys get out front, you're not going to catch them in the fourth quarter.
89-82 after 3 quarters. That's usually like a triple overtime playoff game between the Knicks and the Heat.
I'm not going there. I like the Eastern Conference.
I'm not taking a shot at us. Turkoglu lost it. Pollard flips it out. Weber back in the game and comes up short. He's been sitting a while, probably still a little cold coming up. Nowitzki. Finley. Michael Finley with 21. 3 Mavericks have over 20. Nash 22, Nowitzki 22, and now Finley.
We talked about a start at the beginning of the game for Dallas. They got the start they needed here in the fourth quarter. Open it up. Hedo Turkoglu thought he was fouled.
Buckner knocked it away. Finley right at Pollard.
You can't stay in the backcourt and yell at an official. You turn it over whether you got fouled or not. Get back on defense.
It's been a problem for the Kings. They've not been happy with the officiating, and they've let it affect their play. Shot clock down to 7. Weber against Sean Bradley is hammered. And Weber will shoot two. Solid roll player for Don Nelson. Weber misses it, but he picked up those 4 fouls and sat out a good portion of the third quarter. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Van Exel. Buckner. Nowitzki falling away. And Buckner, a second-round pick, has some good games. Played very well in Game 2 in Sacramento. Weber spinning. Offensive foul.
Weber's already got a double-double, 26 points and 10 boards. Now he's got 5 fouls.
You saw as the play was ending, Weber's left elbow was up there. Did not make contact.
Well, he charged, but you can't charge if the man is inside or part of him is inside. Look out below.
That was a great entry pass from Doug Christie. Weber now with 28 to lead all scorers.
And a ton of time left, particularly for these two teams.
Weber had 31 last game. 8-point game. Finley inside. Divac the rebound. Jackson off to the races. Nowitzki one man back. Oh, nice move from Jackson. And with all that's gone on, it's a 6-point game.
Would you say Bobby Jackson is attacking the rim the second half, Mike?
Jackson has come alive. 13 points. Check that, 15 for him. And a 6-0 run now from Sacramento. Buckner getting some important minutes. Van Exel. Buckner tries to keep it alive. Nowitzki lost it out of bounds. But if you hit the hand while the ball is still in possession of the shooter's hand, it's not a foul.
I think they owe Chris Weber one. They may realize that.
Turkoglu. Finley right on top of him. Turkoglu. Bobby Jackson again. 17 for Jackson. 8 straight points.
Bobby Jackson averages 1 offensive rebound a game for a point guard, particularly off the bench in limited minutes.
And just like that, Sacramento very much alive. Nowitzki, hard drive. And a loose ball foul is going to go, I believe, against Turkoglu.
Jackson does, but he's done it all throughout his college and pro career.
Jackson, 15 of his 17 in the second half. Oh, Dirk Nowitzki answers back.
This recognition. Dirk shows the fake. Chris Weber doesn't buy it, but then Chris just gets out of his way. Excuse me, I'll just take this right to the basket. Chris Weber just stands sideways, and Vlade Divac gets there.
Over Nowitzki. Oh, Bobby Jackson. What a second half turnaround for Jackson.
So much for the slump Bobby Jackson was in.
And a foul will go against Divac. That's his 5th.
Bobby Jackson gets the pass inside from Weber. Now he pulls back. Fadeaway jump shot. He looks over at us. How am I doing?
The defensive specialist putting on an offensive display. He's got 8 points in the fourth quarter, and we're not even midway through the period. Turkoglu, nice play, knocking it away from Nowitzki.
Nowitzki thought he could shoot over Turkoglu. He'd reach right around and poked it loose.
Bibby. Jackson for 3. Bobby Jackson lighting it up here in the fourth. And just like that, it's a 1-point game.
I got to think if there's one guy I wasn't going to leave open right now, might be number 24 in the black jersey.
He has 11 points in the first 6 minutes of the period. Then Nash with a bad pass stolen by Bibby. Weber. Kings regain the lead. A 15-2 run. And they've overcome a 14-point deficit, their first lead of the second half. That's in the past tense. They've become a very strong road team.
Well, they even started out the year struggling a little bit, but they have been on fire on the road. They've yet to lose in the playoffs this year. 2 wins in Utah and 1 on Thursday night.
And after trailing by 14 here in the second half, they've regained the lead. Nash way short. And they're shooting well on the road. Fourth quarter, they shot 61%. in Game 3. They've hit 7 of 10 here in the fourth quarter of Game 4.
And regardless of what happens, what impresses me, starting with Rick Adelman yesterday, is Steve Nash continues to struggle turning over the ball. Rick Adelman said, we don't need to talk about Peja Stojakovic. Obviously, we miss him. We're just going forward. No excuses.
That's Steve Nash's 9th turnover. 5 minutes remaining. Bobby Jackson puts it in. Bobby Jackson with 13 points here in this fourth quarter, and we've only played just over 7 minutes. A 17-2 run. And the crowd a bit stunned right now. Nowitzki draws the foul, and Weber's out. Chris Webber is fouled out of the game. Webber, 30 points and 10 rebounds, played superbly. Game 5 will be Monday night at Arco Arena in Sacramento. But will the Kings go back with a 3-1 lead, or will the series be all tied up at 2? The 2 highest scoring teams in the NBA. And another terrific matchup is Jackson pouring it on here in the fourth. Jackson right at Nash. Gets his own rebound and draws the foul.
Comes up with another rebound. Mike, you said the 2 highest scoring teams.
They were fine without them during the regular season when Weber missed so many games. He missed 28 during the regular season. Stojakovic missed 11. Yet the team still had the best record in the league.
9-2 when Peja Stojakovic was not available.
Jackson knocks down some free throws. What a performance from Bobby Jackson. It's the largest lead of the game for Sacramento. Nash almost turns it over again. LaFrance, that's a huge shot. What could have been a turnover turns into 2 points for Dallas.
Bobby Jackson's furious. He wanted a call. That was well defended. Rafe LaFrance with a huge basket.
1-point game. Just under 4 to play. Bibby for 3. Knocks it down. Mike Bibby. And the Kings have their largest lead.
Michael Bibby was quiet for a long time, but he stepped up.
Nash double team. Nowitzki's open. Now he's doubled. LaFrance had it, lost it, gets it back again. Van Exel gets inside. Nash back to Nowitzki. Nowitzki for 3. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Doug Christie. 4-point Kings lead. You can feel the anxiousness of the crowd. Nowitzki fires away. Won't go. Divac the rebound. And here comes Bobby Jackson. Talk about a brilliant fourth quarter performance. And Sacramento will call timeout and gather themselves. Anxious moments for the Dallas Mavericks. They trail by 4, just under 3 to play. Still plenty of time. But they've seen a 14-point second half lead disappear.
See if they go inside to Vlade Divac.
Divac and LaFrance. Divac playing with 5 fouls. And a 24-second violation. 2.5 remaining. Mavs down by 4. Trying to tie the series at 2 apiece.
That's a horrible turnover, Mike.
See the turnovers for Dallas. 6 of those 15 have come in this fourth quarter. Nash, tough shot from Nash. Puts the lead to 2. 24 for Nash. Adrian Griffin out there for defensive purposes to try and slow down Bobby Jackson, who gets inside. Blocked by LaFrance. Here comes Nash.
Great pass by Divac. Better play by LaFrance.
Finley for 3. And Nowitzki the rebound. He ties the game. Dallas bounces back, just under 2 minutes remaining.
13 offensive rebounds for the Dallas Mavericks.
Bibby inside. That last block by LaFrance was his 4th of the game. Griffin pokes it away. Jackson, that's a 2. Oh, they lost the rebound. Turkoglu banks it in. Nash and Nowitzki had a beat on it. But the ball tipped away and Turkoglu took advantage.
Tito's new hairdo got messed up, but he'll trade that for the offensive board.
Sacramento back up by 2. Nash against Jackson. Nash likes that fall away, gets it to Finley for three. Bang! Michael Finley gives the Mavs the lead.
9 3-point field goals for the Mavericks.
Coming up on a minute remaining. A wild seesaw finish. Devon's inside, lost it. Another costly turnover.
Never had control of it.
Nowitzki doubled.
Good switch.
Dallas doesn't like to slow it down. Nowitzki, tough shot, draws the foul. Won't go, but he'll shoot two.
The Dallas Mavericks were kept down for 3 games from the three-point line. They're 9 for 21 today.
29 points and 12 rebounds for Dirk Nowitzki. Badly short on that second one, and a timeout is called. Finley is on Bibby. Nash is guarding Christie. Bibby gets inside, and he ties the game.
And he did it perfectly. We've got a 7.5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
No help defense whatsoever. Finley with Christie on him. They want to get it in Nash's hands. Excellent ball denial from Jackson. Shot clock at 5. Finley lost it. Hoists it up. Air ball. Turkoglu the rebound. And the Kings call timeout with 7.5 remaining. Fourth quarter of game 4. It's all tied up.
You want to put it in a ball handler's hands. That's Mike Bibby.
Bibby with Finley on him. Puts it up. Won't go. Out of bounds with 0.4 of a second remaining. 0.4 of a second remaining. Van Exel lobs it to the basket. Tipped away. And overtime here in game 4.
Hedo Turkoglu 29 off the bench. Wallace and Funderburk barely on the floor. So the war of attrition for Sacramento. But it's worth it if they come up with a third win.
There's Michael Finley, who for the second straight game played 47 of 48 minutes. And obviously will be more here today. Turkoglu, tough pull-up shot. Doesn't get the roll. And Sean Bradley getting the start here in the overtime.
Might have been just for the jump ball because Rafe LaFrance is already kneeling at the table to report in.
Nowitzki hard to the basket, comes up short. Bradley keeps it alive, but Turkoglu comes away. Nowitzki looking at Greg Willard as he runs up the floor, wanted a foul call there. Mike Bibby on a pull-up, puts it in.
The first basket in overtime is so important. Not that it changes the course of the game, but for both teams. You need to get that first one in to relax a little bit. Dallas still looking for theirs.
Bibby with 22. Jackson goes for the steal. Nash gets it into Nowitzki and a foul call. And it's on Vlade Divac, and that's his 6th.
I don't like that for his 6th foul. Good officials, and this is a very good crew. Early in the game, maybe that's not a bad call. Not with less than 4 minutes in overtime.
Game tied with just under 4 minutes to go in overtime. Sacramento playing shorthanded. Weber and Divac are both fouled out. And Stojakovic not playing with the ankle injury. Christie for 3. LaFrance hauls in the rebound. Here comes Nash. Kings get back on D. Finley on the pull-up. Knocks it down.
Michael Finley, good decision. He didn't settle for the 3. Little quick dribble and got a better look.
Dallas back up by 2. Turkoglu gets inside. Pretty pass to Pollard. Pollard draws the foul.
Pollard's less than a 70% free throw shooter.
Got it 69% during the regular season. That one rattles around. Pollard hits it. You actually get 3, not additional.
Right.
So 2 clutch free throws from Scott Pollard.
Keep you 20, I believe, Mike. I should know the rule as a former coach. You have it.
Van Exel against Bibby. Flips it up. Ball kept alive by LaFrance, but Bibby comes out of the pack.
No numbers for Sacramento.
Bibby gets inside. Tough shot. Pollard's tip won't go. Fight for the rebound. Still alive. LaFrentz had it. Jackson comes away. Jackson double team. Bibby for three. Finley with a tough rebound in traffic and falls. Somehow gets it out. Here's Nash. And a foul on the pass. Nowitzki was wide open on the elbow.
It was an excellent foul. I don't know. Michael Bibby had a great look. Not a lot of scorers on the floor for the Kings. I guess you got to live with that shot.
Nash inside, trying to get it to LaFrentz. Somehow it finds its way to Van Exel. Finley for three. Christie with the rebound. The crowd has been on its feet pretty much the entire overtime.
You've got some tired players out there for both teams, especially, you would think, Sacramento.
Turkoglu for three. That's not a good shot. Christie the offensive rebound. Bibby gets inside. Too strong. And a whistle and a foul.
Good call.
It's going to go against Dallas.
You'll see the shot go up. Sacramento's already got a couple of offensive rebounds. Scott Pollard thought he had another one, and he was pushed from behind. Good call.
The presence of Pollard helps out Sacramento. Bobby Jackson falling away. Oh! Pollard with the offensive rebound. Second opportunities for Sacramento.
They're not cashing it, but they're doing a great job on the board.
Christie in and out. Nash the rebound. Minute and a half remaining in overtime, and we're still tied.
Rick Adelman's not happy with that shot. They're taking too many threes. They don't need to.
And a foul. Weber's fouled out. Divac is fouled out. 1:20 to go in OT. They try to get it to Nowitzki, and he lost it out of bounds.
I'd like to see Sacramento go inside or attack on the dribble.
They don't have Weber to go inside too right now. He's fouled out. Christie. Turkoglu. Turkoglu driving. Tough shot. Won't go. Finley snatches that rebound.
Snatch is the operative word.
Adrian Griffin in for defensive purposes. Final minute of the overtime. Finley.
Isolated against Turkoglu.
Shot clock winding down. It's a two. Finley won't go. Griffin the rebound, but he lost it. And Christie comes away with the ball. There's about a 6.5-second difference between the shot and game clock.
Rick Adelman looks like he's going to let them play. Trying to take as much time off in a pick and roll. Bibby and Pollard.
Bibby inside. Puts it in. Mike Bibby goes inside. And Sacramento with a 2-point lead with 12.2 remaining. They had missed 10 of their first 11 from the field in the overtime, but Bibby goes strong.
Well, if Sacramento can come up with one more stop, Michael Bibby takes it right to the rim. He's going to enjoy his 24th birthday. What a great play by the Sacramento point guard.
Van Exel, Nash, LaFrentz, Nowitzki, and Finley. All five with three-point ability, but they're only down two. Bibby on Van Exel. Nowitzki makes his move inside. Won't go. Rebound Nowitzki. Tip won't go. Finley. No go. It won't count. And the Sacramento Kings take 2 games in Dallas and take a commanding 3-1 lead. And we'll head back to that madhouse called Arco Arena in a comfortable position.
Well, Michael Bibby has stepped up so big in this series. Can't tell you how impressed I am, Sacramento. No Stojakovic. Weber fouls out. Divac fouls out. Doesn't bother them in the least. A lot of players step in, and they get it done on the road.